I tried a different tool. And that tool was, I suppose, a perspective shift. Whether we're trying to heal from a psychological perspective or a spiritual perspective, there's this idea of being able to witness your thoughts without judgment. You let your monkey mind flow and you just watch. You just see what it's doing, whether it be pain or fear or excitement or love, to be able to actually look at what's happening within you and not just distract with sugar or TikTok or golf. This sounds great in theory, but I've always struggled with this because when I give myself the permission to witness my thoughts without judgment, what happens to me is I just keep witnessing them. I keep thinking about them over and over and over again. What should be a peaceful sort of viewing or acceptance of these thoughts turns into a rumination that can last for days, if not months, and I would say maybe years. But this week, something different happened. I was triggered with what I thought would have been something that would have sent me spiraling, but this time, I didn't. Recently, I finished the book How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera, and she talks about how, as children, we develop behaviors and actions that get us love, or acceptance, or validation, or make us feel safe. We try out different things as kids, and the things that work, the actions that work, we keep doing them. And we keep doing them through childhood, into our teens, into adulthood, without realizing that these actions may not be healthy. They may not be the healthiest thing for us to do, especially as adults. In therapy in my 20s, I came to realize that my obsessive compulsiveness, my anxiety, seemed to be sort of defense mechanisms that would come up if something would happen to me, or if I would think about something, or if I would do something that I felt guilty about. These goblins, these ghosts would rise up inside of me and take turns with distracting me, or punishing me, or making me feel down. But I think now, in my 30s, I found the second half of this puzzle, and the second half of this puzzle is that not only are these ghosts inside of me that kind of distract, but they're also the ghosts of behaviors from my past as a child. Because when I think about my childhood, which I've been doing a lot, I think about the sort of ways that I tried to be seen, or to get love, or to feel safe. And for me to spiral, or to ruminate, or to feel sad, I think was a big part of that. So for me, this sort of sadness or anxiety or rumination seemed to be a place that connected me maybe with my parents, but was also super familiar. The brain hates change, even if it's healthy, because if it's different, that's new, and that could be unsafe. So we seem to keep these behaviors well into our adulthood, even though we know they're bad, because they're just familiar. They're the way that we've always done it. Our nervous system wants to go into fight or flight. At least mine does. And that makes me feel safe. But the nervous system also wants to come back to homeostasis, back to balance, back to equilibrium. And for so long, I wonder if that's been my problem. This buzzing state of caution, especially after the last few years, has always felt safe to me. I don't want to get caught with my pants down. The storm's coming, but I'm ready. Not caught with my pants down in like a weird sexual way. I mean like that I'm not ready. A big part of our journey in healing is facing the pain, but I don't need to keep whipping myself with it. I had a friend come over and talk to me and release grief about a death. I look at this sort of thing as hallowed ground, to be able to hold the space for somebody if they feel safe enough to share with you. But when I hold this space, I have found that for me, either the next day or the day after, I start to spiral. It feels like I take on that sort of energy from that person. Now, whether I'm really doing that, if that's just hippy-dippy nonsense, if it's a placebo, if it's my own problem, I'm not sure, but this is a pattern. And it's not just a pattern for me when talking with people. This sort of spiraling that I can do seems to happen any sort of time that I face adversity. Well, not any time. I'm not just a weak leaf just blowing in the wind or getting stepped on. And even with all the work that I have done with self-healing and with therapy and with reading books and trying to explore, I've felt like there's been this part of me that just can't figure it out. But I feel like that might have changed this week, because after I had this conversation, I tried a different tool. And that tool was, I suppose, a perspective shift to make the connection that no, I'm actually doing the rumination as another way to calm my nervous system is a massive flip. And this week, when I was speaking with my friend afterwards, and it was the day after, I started to feel the pull to want to ruminate and to feel bad about myself and to soothe myself from this pain. And I was aware of it, but this time, instead of doing that, I decided to consciously tell myself that I am safe, I am okay, Corey is okay, Iliism using third person talk, along with the breathing patterns and going on a walk and reaching out to people, doing this stuff while each time checking myself that I don't have to slip into the depression, rumination, OCD, bullshit. I don't have to slip into that to feel okay. I don't have to do that. It also feels weird because my brain was like, I don't know what to do here. I'm telling you, my brain is telling me this is what you need to do. You need to ruminate and feel like shit because that's comfortable and you'll go through this cycle and then that's safe. But it felt like it was malfunctioning when I was consciously telling myself, no, it's okay, you're safe. I don't know. One of the things with my channel is I wish I could give more of a solution to things. But inherently with the stuff that we cover here, it always seems to tumble back to the big questions. What is this? What are we? And there's not a solution for that yet. ChatGPT, what are we? What are you? What am I? I am a silly human who's just trying. But I can feel safe in other ways, in ways that are less neurotic. Throughout this whole process, I've wanted to find enlightenment, to feel like I have no ego and supreme understanding. But then when something goes wrong, I just feel like a scared 5-year-old boy again. I know that my monkey mind will never be perfect, but at least with this attempt at psychological healing, I feel that I am better able to connect to whatever this sort of universal feeling is. Can you hear the birds?